two different looks of eyebrow, one being very dramatic, the other one being light and natural. I want to show you how to create the lighter look or the darker look using the same color. So if this is you where you want to elevate your eyebrows using the brow powder, this is going to be your brow video. So stick around and I'll show you how to do that. Brow powders can give a very light, natural, powdery look. It can also go very dramatic. And I'm going to be using the same color, so you want to pay attention to this. I've been shaping eyebrows for over 25 years, and I'm blessed to still be able to shape brows at the Anastasia Beverly Hills Salon. So definitely come by and get your brows shaped. Let's get into the model and show you how to best apply the brow powder. On the model, I'm going to be using a lighter color than I'm going to be using on myself because, I always have to use myself as a model. So that way you can watch me hold the brush using the powder. That's going to be something that I believe needs a little practice, but I have a couple of tips with that. Anyway, so beautiful eyebrows, like I said, she is young, but the powder application will be, I think, for everybody. Now down below will be the screen where it'll be before throughout the whole video. Up above, now I've just waxed and shaped a tiny bit, really, not much. So we're going to start with one side of the eyebrow. Now I'm going to use the ash brown dual powder on myself using the angle brush, brush 7B. But I usually like to use the highlighter first. Doesn't have to be first. It could be during, after, it doesn't matter. So like I said, on her, it could be medium brown. I'm using the mid-tone because as you can see, I'm going back and forth to get that mid-tone color from the light to the darker color. So, the highlighter is nice to do first because I think it just kind of creates kind of a light border. I have an old brow tattoo, so mine's going to look a little different, but watch me hold all the tools. The highlighter stick is always going to be laying down, and I'm not going to blend mine in that much, so that way you can see what I'm doing. Or you can see the color on myself, but of course, most importantly, it's the model. So right over here, I brush the hair down, right? Brush it down, and then you can have access to that top area of the eyebrows. Now, when I say the top axis, I mean right when you comb the hair down, you can see the root of your eyebrows, right? And right over here is your arch, pin to the nose, over in a 90 degree, over in an angle, kind of like 1 or 2 o'clock. That is your arch up here. So what I do is I go right at the top and I drag the brush down, dragging it down so that you keep the brush sharp. Right up in the front here, you notice that I'm going right at the base of the highlighter and I'm dragging the brush up. The reason why I do the upward stroke is so that way, again, the brush, you want it to stay flat and you want a light application up in the front. Now, whatever's left on the brush, that's where I go up in the front. So whatever's left, after going dark up here, but not too dark, I go right up in the front and I'm right-handed doing my left eyebrow and I'm just going right at the base, the edge of the highlighter and the eyebrows. And I'm just lightly stroking it up. If you don't have much hair at the top area, then you can just kind of go sideways this way. Okay, so nice and natural. Well, as natural as possible on me. Okay, so I'm going back to the same color using the darker side only. I'm not going back and forth with the brush. And you notice that I'm always laying the brush down, even with the powder, so that way the brush stays sharp. Again, I'm going right at that base of that corner arch and I'm dragging the brush down. But this time I'm, of course, grabbing the darker side of the powder and I'm pressing a tiny bit harder, making sure that the brush stays laying down and dragging it down. That way you get it inside your eyebrow and you're just pressing it a little harder. And that's okay because your brush is staying flat. Now up at the front, now you can see how dramatic it is, right? This is optional, obviously, but I want you to see how dark the brows can be simply just pressing it hard, right? So again, I'm going this way, holding up I don't like to hold the brush this way because then you're gonna spray out the hair. So you hold the brush laying down above and you're just dragging it up and now I'm pressing hard, pressing, but the brush is not going to flare out because I'm laying the brush, right? There's your tip. You're laying the brush and you're going up, 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 up. So I'm pressing hard. I'm pressing it hard up here so that way it stays dark. I don't know if you can see that this side is a little darker. Anyway, so highlighter going underneath. Now I'm using the brow freeze. She's got actually very fine hair. It's not, the texture of her hair isn't that thick, which is why a freeze would be a nice addition. The freeze is obviously on both sides of the eyebrow, but you know, this really does make an impact, whether it's the light or the dramatic. Now, the dramatic side can stand to be a little bit lighter. I'm going to go a little bit darker here. It can stand to be lighter, but you know, for the sake of this, you really just see how much darker it can be. But I'm just going lightly. Now on her, you want to go light, meaning with the freeze. The brow freeze gel, it's very thick, right? If you guys are using this, you know what I mean. If you are thinking about it, when you get it out of the tube, it can get very thick. You can see the gumminess right here. See that? So that's why I always do this, so you can grab some of the product here. And you want to go slowly using the longest side of that bristle. And you go slowly, slowly, so that way you can move the hair around and you can control it, right? Now, some of you might be saying, well, you know, the hair just sticks straight up. You can snip the hair after you apply this if one goes really long. So there's another tip for you. So what side is for you? The lighter side or the darker side? Most of us, of course, would prefer the natural lighter side, but that's why I wanted to do this video. If this video helped, if you've learned something, please let me know. Please like this video. And of course, if you're not subscribing, that helps me. Not all the colors come up when I want to tag them, which is why the descriptions are important, right? That would be listed along with my very little makeup. One thing I want to point out, sometimes I do change up my lip color or no lip, just gloss. And most of the lip products I use, or if not all of them, most of the lip products I use is by Anastasia Beverly Hills. But it is still a little cold here. Even though I'm in LA, our weather can get a little chilly, and which is why the sweater is right now working really well for me. I like to use the brand Fresh. Fresh has a lot of lip conditioners with some stain to it, which is why you see that pinkish stain on my lips. But these conditioners, this one I believe is the Tulip. It lasts a good part of the day. It's not like chapstick. It doesn't have like a waxy feel. It does have that kind of shine to it, but it makes my lips feel so moisturized, and it stays that way pretty much a good full day from not eating or anything. Of course, I'd have to touch it up, but it is perfect for anyone, really, anywhere. But it's great for cold climates. If you're around an area where things are a bit more dry, this is the best, I believe, out there that really moisturizes your lips. So thank you for your time, and I'll see you guys next week.